So I am ready to turn it over. I am so excited. I just read an article today called Protest Politics, Black Women in Leadership. I was so excited to see an article written so powerfully about the woman that we're going to talk to right now, Pastor Cori Bush. Very exciting. This article is in today's Huffington Post. It is written by David Ragland, and it's like at the beginning he has a clip from Alice Walker's Democratic Womanism. And it says, "You ask me why I smile when you tell me you intend in the coming national elections to hold your nose and vote for the lesser of two evils. There are more than two evils out there is one reason I smile." And he continues on to talk about Cori and why he's happy that at least in one race he does not have to hold his nose. So I'm not going to talk too much more. I'm going to drop this in. We're going to drop this into YouTube. But we're going to now talk with Pastor Cori Bush. And so you can see why I am excited to speak with her this evening. So, okay, so 6% in. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing this evening?
I'm great. How are
Thank
you?
you. I am good. Thank you so much for joining me. This is very exciting for me. Can you please just give us a brief introduction, introduce yourself to the group, and just tell us a little about yourself.
Okay. My name is Cori Bush. I am the U.S. Senate candidate here in Missouri. I am a mother of 2 teenagers. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a Ferguson activist. I am an ordained pastor, and I am pushing for change. I'm running until I can't run anymore, and I just feel like the best thing to do is just to keep going and, to be fearless in this thing. We were fearless in Ferguson, so that's what I'm taking to the Senate with me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. What led you into politics, and then what made you jump into this particular race?
Okay, so I never, I guess, really thought about being a politician, or especially not a U.S. Senate candidate, not going to Capitol Hill. But
right.
I think it's because we did so much in Ferguson. So I grew up under a politician. My father's been a politician for 30 years. So I've watched him, I've seen everything that he went through. He's been a campaign manager for others. He was a mayor of a municipality here in St. Louis, and he's been alderman. Mm-hmm. So I've watched, all of that. I was able to be on the inside of it and to see the inner workings, see the corruption, see the good, see the bad, see the, how he was able to help, people. And also see how a regular person was able to make a change. Because to me, he was dad, but when he walked out of those doors, he really helped people. So, but I went the way of ministry. So he was in politics, I went ministry. But when Ferguson happened, just running out there, being out there, wanting to see change. And like I said, just a regular everyday person, all of us, we just went out there to see change. We didn't go out there with the idea of, we want to be, anybody special. It was just, this is wrong. So, but with all that we did out there, day after day, night after night, week after week, month after month, most people don't know we protested more than 400 days, so with all of that. Yeah, and so the thing is, a movement is supposed to move. It's supposed to evolve. It's supposed to change, and so to me, it was like the next step was, with all that we did, one thing that we found out was, we things that we thought were laws weren't laws. Things that we thought were not laws were laws, and it was just ignorance that on our part, we just didn't know certain things, and so it put us in bad positions. And so now I feel like the next step, if with all that work that we did, to me, it would be in vain if we didn't start moving into the places where they make those laws, where those laws are changed, where, so why, and if someone may some people have asked me, well, why U.S. Senate? Why go so high first? Why not do, dog catcher or something, first? Right, and the first thing about that is I watched my father go up through those ranks. I've watched that, and so to me, your parents should be your how high they go. That should be the foundation for you. That's their ceiling is your foundation. So if I have to go back through the same ranks he went through, then I can only get as far as he went. And so I feel like whatever he did, now I can come on top of that and then go further. So with that, and then the fact that no one else, and I did endorse Bernie Sanders. And so no one else right now in the state of Missouri that's running as a U.S. Senate candidate has come out and officially endorsed Bernie Sanders or the platform, and for me, that platform speaks to me.
Right. And I remember I saw the clip of you when you spoke. You introduced him when ahead of the Missouri primary. I saw that clip. Mm-hmm. What was it though about? And I read the article and stuff. But what was it about? Because we hear so much, right? Bernie doesn't appeal to black people. Bernie can't do this. What is it though about his, considering your own background, what you've experienced and stuff, what you stand for? What is it about the Bernie Sanders platform though that appealed to you, that made that seem like the way for you to go?
Okay.
In terms of endorsing him or supporting him.
Okay. First, I'm all about the root of what I'm doing is a love of humanity. Regardless of who you are, regardless of who you are, what you've done, what you're still doing, what I think is right or wrong, just loving humanity. I think that that's what's missing in the United States Senate right now, is people that just start off with a love, letting that be the prerequisite for the position, So and so with that comes genuineness. With that comes humility and so. To me, that's what spoke first about him, because when you look through the history of the things that he said, the things that he's done, it's been consistent. And I understand evolving. People evolve. I've evolved.
Right.
But when this man has been speaking to the issues that have faced people, the marginalized communities and communities of all different kinds that cross different demographics. That speaks to me, because that's how I live. That's where I walk. And not only that, the people that I serve, that's their life. That's their everyday life. And he's been fighting for it for years.
Right. So as we're looking towards, representing Missouri, what are some of the issues, the needs and priorities that you're seeing that need to be at the forefront in Missouri that are not being addressed currently, or that need to be better addressed?
Okay. Well, for one, Missouri, let me start with St. Louis. St. Louis is number one on the FBI's crime list. We're number one in homicide rate across the country. Kansas City, I think, is 12 or something like that. Missouri has a D rating in education. We are the most unbanked community in the country. We have more check cashing places than we have. It seems like almost anything. Well, what I was told was we have more check cashing places than we have McDonald's. In our state, we have we have more people in this state than any other state that do not have bank accounts. So all of those things seem to tie in. They tie into each other. I think that you can't address and then poverty. Poverty is such a big issue, but you can't address our education system without addressing the poverty, and you can't address the poverty without addressing the education system, and then you can't address either one of those and leave out the criminal justice system. So I think all of those are tied in, and tied in with that is the school to prison pipeline. Missouri was number one for school suspensions for elementary students. It's like 27% of the black elementary students in this state have been suspended from school, and so with all of those things being the forefront of what the problems that some of the problems that we're facing. Who is really there to speak to those issues? And it's not just those issues, but those are some of the first things that I'll be addressing.
Okay. And how do you feel? I know you talked a little bit about it in the beginning, but how do you feel like your experience as an ordained, in ministry and community activism, how do you feel like that has informed your campaign as you're in the process of running for office?
Well, first of all, to take off the eyes of judgment, and some people actually think that that's the problem. They, I won't say problem, but they automatically assume that I'm judging, that I come in with a place of judgment, and I don't, I stand for human rights. I stand for equality. And, so I think just the fact that the core of my Bible that I read is love, that's what I want to bring. That's what I want to bring to the world. That's what changes the world. That's what changed me, because I was a different person some years ago, a completely different person. And that's why I have to stand for everyone. And people disagree with me when I say this, but, even for when we're talking about, let's talk about criminal justice, and we talk about police accountability. I'm not anti-police. Yes, I'm a Ferguson activist, and I stand on that. I organize protests, all of that. I stand on that. You can't take that from me. And if it's a protest breaking out tonight, I'm out there. But the thing is this: when you want the accountability that, and we want accountability, we want transparency, we want to get away from the brutality and it's foolishness to me. But the issue is if there was a person and they said, oh, well, he was armed and, or she was armed and that's why I killed this person. To me, I have a problem with that, feeling like that person deserved it because they had a gun. And people think that that's wrong. They think it's the wrong thing. But to me, at one point in my life, I was a different person. I was that person that could have had that gun. But because somebody didn't chop my life down thinking that I was undeserving to live, because they made that decision as a human being with no different color blood than what I have, because no one made that decision, I'm still here, and I was able to affect lives. Someone came into my life and changed my life, and now I've affected lives all across the country, and so who's to say that person that was chopped down wasn't supposed to be the next somebody that would have changed the world?
Wow, that's
why I stand.
That is so, the way you just put that is just so, it's so basic, right? Like it just comes from just a simple, no, like seriously, like a simple, like human, everybody deserves a chance because you never know what can happen for the future. But so many people just completely, just throw that aside and don't even look at the young people or old people in front of them as somebody with potential who could contribute something. Like that is just so powerful the way you just said that. No, seriously, because I think that we need leadership. We need leadership that can stand for people, not just the people who already fit into whatever box that personally benefits them, but we need to stand for the possibilities of people and give them the opportunities to contribute to our communities and society as a whole. I really, that is so, the reason why I wanted to talk to you, the reason why I wanted everybody to see you is because from what I've read about you and what I've read about from watching and observing in Ferguson, I think to see people, take their activism and experience, right, and then step out and choose to lead. We always have this conversation about that transition from activist to politician. Like, how do you see being able to make that transition? Or like, how do you, or maybe even balance maybe sometimes the tension that comes from having had that foot in the activist world and then having that foot now, in the political arena?
Yeah, well, for me, I'm seeing how it's going hand in hand, because the thing is, those same people that I was out there standing with and fighting with are people who were hurt, are people who felt voiceless, in their own home, because this thing didn't happen away from us. It's not like we could get it on a plane and go away. This happened in our backyard. This happened in our homes. So, we all felt this way of hopelessness and helplessness in our own town, in our own city, in our own country. So because of that, we built a coalition, that we have Latinos in Action, Palestinian Solidarity Committee, Asian Pacific Islanders for Black Lives, and our LGBTQ community. There's so many of us that stood together, our white allies, so many of us that stood together. We were able to take the hurt and the pain and the disgust, put it into one, make it focused in one area, and that's what I plan to take with me when I go to the United States Senate. Because the thing is, you can't go, you need not go there if you don't have the people with you. And for me, the people will never be separated from me, because one thing that happened to me was that stuck in my heart, that drove, it was like wedged in my heart, the struggles of the Palestinian people that live here in Missouri, and even our Bosnian community, so many, that's in me now. You can't take it from me. And that's the part that's missing in the United States Senate. Do they stand up for us? How many of the 100 are standing up for all of these communities that are crying out right now?
Yes, that is so crucial. To hear you say not just that, because when someone says, "Oh, they're a Ferguson activist," people automatically think of, Mike Brown, Black Lives Matter. That's it. People don't understand the diversity and ranging issues in communities, right, that have been interacted with. It's like a bridge has been built across issues and communities. Yes. It's not just this one,
Exactly. And for me, there is a fire in me to change the world, and I'm not afraid to do it. Ferguson taught me how fearless I could be, and let me take it back. It may not even be fearless so much it is as my desire to see change and my desire to help the people is greater than any fear of what they could do to me or any fear of what could happen. So because of that, because I was able, and not just me, we were able to withstand tanks day after day, tear gas, beatings. I was stomped by the police like I was a rag doll. They treated me, I was stomped by about 6 or 8 police officers in steel toe boots or whatever those boots were they had on, like they were in the war. That's what, I was at the bottom of that, but I was able to get back up and come right back out and get back out in the fight. And the thing is, even with all of that, I've seen my friends hog-tied and hung upside down on batons and beat for just stepping over the white line into the street, not hurting anyone. And so, but because of even through all of that, I don't hate the police. I just want to see change. And so that's what's needed. People that can say, these are the issues, these are the things that happen. But because I love the people, I'm standing for all the people. I even stand for police. Because I tell you one thing, if a police officer's child was killed, gunned down, and killed by someone, I will go and stand and march for that person the same way I would for someone else. So it's about really remembering that we're servants. And that's the part about me being a ordained pastor, first year servant.
Right.
And a nurse. I'm a nurse, I'm a registered nurse. That's all we do is we serve.
How do you see, and so because I'm not really sure is it with Missouri, like with the state, like, so how do you see being able to take your message, right? Because it's a great message, and I think when you get a chance to talk to people, coming from that humanist perspective, that I'm a person, you're a person, with love and togetherness, we can make this a better place for everyone. I think that resonates with a lot of people, particularly on our side of the aisle, so to speak. But how are you and your team able to try and start getting that message out, beyond the communities that are familiar with you?
Well, actually, what I've seen is just me getting in the room. So once I'm able to get in the room, because sometimes when people hear it, they're like, love isn't what, I care more about her understanding policy and the structure of government, than I care about her wanting to serve. I've heard that critique before, but then once I was able to get in the room, then the whole thing changed. So I think it's a matter of, just like at the Bernie rally when I was able to speak, so many people came up to me afterwards and was like, wow, I never, I didn't think you had it in you, but I heard that. I didn't think you had it in you, but yeah. So, so I think it's just that much, just being there, being present, letting people see you. Also, and one thing about my team, they've been pushing me everywhere. Everywhere. I don't care who it is, where it is, we go wherever. So, but this is the other thing. I still work full time, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So I work my nursing job. I'm a registered nurse for a mental health agency in St. Louis City. We service the homeless, the underserved, the underinsured. So I spend my days doing that during the day. I'm helping young girls out of sex trafficking. I am escalating situations where people have guns, people have knives, people are trying to hurt each other or hurt me. I'm able to de-escalate those situations, and people go home safely with medication, back into the community. And so, so my day job is completely different than when I get off work and I'm campaigning, but because of the need for change, got to keep going.
How do you so this is not even something I had down to ask you. How do you do it? How do you manage to work full time? You have a family, you work full time, you do all this stuff, you are all these things to all these people, and you're campaigning for Senate on top of that. How do you manage? Because we talk so much with this, with politics, with all this social engagement, activism. We talk about self-care and work-life balance and things. Those are really great terms we hear thrown around.
Right.
How do you do it, though?
Well,
how do you find time?
Well, that's a good question. One thing I have to say is I have a great team. My team, they understand. They walked in the door knowing Cori can't quit her job to do this. So they walked in knowing that was the biggest challenge to this campaign. So what they figured was we need to be surrogates. So I have several people on my campaign that will go when I'm at work, they're going somewhere. Just like yesterday, there was in Jefferson City, Missouri, they went to Lincoln University and they met with the president of Lincoln University and talked about my campaign and met with some students and started a rally and all of these things. And so it was three of the people on my campaign while I was at work, so they're out getting the word out even when I'm working. And then in the evening, my kids and I, my kids are teenagers, they're 15 and 16. They're so excited about what I'm doing. They support me 100%. They supported me in Ferguson. I even took them out there. So they know, how mommy works. And so my children, let me say this, my children, I could say, hey, I got this going on and this going on. They'll say, hey, we got you. I'll come home. They've made baked chicken, macaroni and cheese, and green beans. So that helps. And then my family, my father is amazing. He's my hero. So he's out there helping as well. So I have a great support system. But the other thing with that is you can do so many things that you didn't think you could do when you are in your purpose. So I'm in my purpose, and it wasn't my plan, it's the plan that the Lord laid before me. So because I'm in my purpose, I'm able to do things that I would not have normally been able to do.
Wow. That is so, oh my gosh, I'm trying to tweet what you're saying right now too. I'm about to make a note and tweet it in a minute. That's just so huge. Oh my gosh, that is, when you are in your purpose, you are able to do things beyond what you were normally able to do. That is so, that is real. Yes. People in the chat room were like, oh my God, where has she been? Oh my gosh, she's awesome. I know, seriously. Do y'all see now why I had to talk to her? Looking forward, what does, for your campaign, what are the needs for your campaign? Because we do have a lot of people who follow Ben, who follow the show, who have been active and engaged and try to help out with some of the down ballot folks. So just talk to us just for a little bit. What are the needs of your campaign? What is it looking like for you guys going forward? When is your election? Is in August?
August 2nd is the primary. It's the Democratic primary. Yes. And then so once I get past that, then I'll be ready for the general.
Okay. So August 2nd is your. So just tell everyone just how they can, contribute or help in any way.
Okay, so the needs of my campaign, first of all, they're treating me like Bernie Sanders. I don't get the media coverage like my opponent. They say that they won't pay me. The major especially the major Missouri papers, are saying we won't pay you any attention until you have more money. So that's an issue that I am fighting with, is the money, because I'm not taking money, from the big corporations and all of that, but I'm taking, it's small donors. So it's coming in kind of slow, it's coming, but it's coming in slow. So plus I'm traveling all about the state, and I'm not able to do as much, like I said, because I'm working full time, as far as fundraising, but it's, it'll pick up. But that's one thing that we need. Definitely, we need the word out that, because they're saying I can't be a viable candidate if I don't have all of this money. So what I need is for people to put it out there that the media needs to pay attention to me, number one, and two, right, to send in money. My website is www.coribush.com. It's CORIBUSH.com. So that's a big thing that we need. And I mean, I even want to I want it to be so to where the media has to pay attention to me, because the people are fussing that they want to hear, that they want to see me in those media outlets. Yeah, so I would say that those two things for the most part.
Okay. And then finally, just anything, because Ben gets on in a little bit, so I gotta kind of just wrap up. And I thank you so much, and I would love to talk to you again some more. Yeah. We'll follow up via email or whatever, because I want to, however we can help try to boost your presence, we want to do that. Okay. Because you are somebody that we definitely need, not just represent Missouri in the U.S. Senate, but we need people with your heart and your vision in a Senate making decisions for all of us. Just how do you just any quick final thoughts on how you see things going forward as we talk about being involved in this progressive movement and just building long term?
So one thing that I did want to say is, no matter what happens in my race, I know that the people are able to see, especially young girls, regardless of their skin color. Black girls definitely, but regardless of whatever the skin color is, see that, I can be so much more than what they thought I could be. So because I went to a place where I was told that I shouldn't go, because I should be fearful of going to this place running for the U.S. Senate, because I was able to knock down that wall, especially here in Missouri, I'm looking forward to so many others stepping into positions that people said that they could not or should not, because no one in Missouri no black person in Missouri has ever won statewide. So that's one thing that I'm hoping to see. And then also, I think moving forward, having people not be afraid to be who they are and taking it to the next place, because so many times your people come to you and they say, oh, in order to be a congressional candidate, in order to be a senatorial candidate, you have to look this way, talk this way, you have to speak this way, you have to this, and I can't do that. I can only be me. I can't change. That's why I still have these. I rock my braids because I'm me. I can't. I don't wear pearls, so I right now I have on a Cori Bush t-shirt. You can't really see it, but I have on my t-shirt, I'm who I am, and so that's what I want people to take. Because just think about it, if people were really who they are in politics, how much different would the world be versus somebody saying you must conform to this, and that.
Right.
The people you serve aren't conformed. The people you serve are individuals. So that's what I want to see.
I love it. So I'm going to need to get a shirt, and I appreciate you so much. No, seriously, I need to get a shirt, and I'm going to do, I also admin African Americans for Bernie on Facebook. There's a group and there's a page. The page has about 25,000. So I am going to I'm going to get, between me or one of the admins, I am going to get you up on our page in the next 24 hours, because I'm not just a fan, like I'm a part of the movement. So thank you so much for joining us. And again, let's continue talking. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Have a good evening, and shout out to the rest of the team. Squad.
That's right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.